Fancy. Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of Elite Dangerous. Troa here. And before I begin, really, I do want to say I apologize for the lack of content lately. The majority of that has really been to the fact that I have a disability and I'm having a hard time actually playing, let alone recording and then editing and doing all this other stuff. So right now I'm kind of feeling awake, so I'm going to go ahead and get in on it. And let's do a little bit of things here for Power Play, which just came out. Now, Power Play is, I don't know. I like it and I don't like it at the same time. Like, there are things about it that I'm kind of like up in the air about. But primarily, I think it's a good addition. I really do. I just think it needs a little bit more refinement. And that's, just all I can really say on the matter. I want to go ahead and I want to pick a power, but I'm not really sure which one I should pick. I haven't picked one yet. It's been a couple of days since it came out. I wanted to kind of get my head wrapped around everything before I actually went in here and did it, because first time bumbling around is not fun to watch. So I want to go ahead and do this one, and I have some plans for the new ships that are out: the Diamondback Scout, the Diamondback Explorer, and the Courier, and I want to go ahead and make dedicated episodes to them, so that'll come later. But in this episode, I'm going to be kind of covering Power Play as a whole, and why, my choices here, and which ones I kind of want to go after. I haven't quite made a decision yet, and I think I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot this episode, so we'll figure one out together. So let's go ahead and let's go into this. So Galactic Powers. I really like this interface, by the way. Alright, so we have these guys. We have a couple of Federation, we have Felicia Winters, and we have the T-1000, otherwise known as the Terminator, otherwise known as Zachary Hudson. And, look at this guy. He looks like the Terminator. It's the Governator, man. I love it. But anyway, I'm not a Fed. I'm just not a Fed guy. Of the two of them, her, special weapon is kind of cool, but I don't know how it works. And if I go to pledge, my thing is bugged. So let's see if it's... Oh, no. They fixed it. So unlocks access to the pulse disruptor, a medium pulse weapon. Oh, it's okay. So now it tells me it's a medium pulse weapon that also causes module malfunction after 4 weeks aligned with this power. Okay, cool. So I now know that it's a medium weapon. I don't like medium weapons, but that's cool. What modules are affected by this? Is it completely random? Could I actually hit somebody once with it and have their shields go out? That would be really good to know. And I don't really know if that's going to be worth anything or not. So, that's kind of cool, I guess. So, whatever. They did change rating 5. It used to be the top 10 people, which, come on, how many people do they think play this game? A lot of people play this game, and you're not going to have it to where there's 100 people that have total with all the 10 powers that actually have, the level 5 rating. So 10,000 merits is a lot. And there's some sort of decay. There's kind of we really don't know how much of that decay it is. If it's, 50% of your merits are halved, basically, at the end of every week, or if it's 10% or what. I don't know. And, if it's half, that's a lot of time to put into this thing. So I'm not really sure about that. And to be honest, I'm not really kind of sold on anybody here. I really wanted to go with, what's her name? Lady Lauren. And I really wanted to go with her, but she's not here. At least not yet. There's apparently going to be up to 20 powers total. And then, right now we only have half that many. So I'm not really sure who to go with. And okay, so I'm elite in combat, right? So these two guys don't make any sense to me. Both of them are combat oriented. So is Denton Petraeus. So Livigny Duval, I don't really care for either. She's got the Imperial Hammer, which is a cool concept. Let's see here. Pledge. Rating 3. Access to the Imperial Hammer, a multi-shot railgun after 4 weeks aligned with this power. Now, okay, cool. You know, that'd be cool to show as far as like a video goes. I would be able to, you know, show the Imperial Hammer, and that's cool. But, meh? I mean, she's all about combat. So, I mean, why would I do that? Combat only gives you 1 merit per kill, which is a laugh. It gives you 1 merit and 100 credits per kill. So, why would I even want to do that? I'm already elite in combat. So I would want particularly something that does with trading. Now, trading... Okay, so Zemina Torval does... Let's see, what does she do? Okay, so she gets... If you trade in her system, you get a voucher for 5% of the profits, increasing to 10, 15, and 20% at Galactic Power Standings 3, 2, 1, respectively. Now, that's cool. And I think this is really probably the best way to go for a trader. I think it was her, and was it Mahon? Or Mahon? However you want to say his name. Pledge. Yeah, okay, so Mahon or Mahon does this too. I think Long Ri. I don't know where I got that from. Li Yong Ri. Long Ri? I really don't know. I mean, do they have to make everything so freaking complicated to say? Alright, so... Yeah, he does it too. Okay, so that's good. So we have 3 people where you can make more from trading. You have Zemina Torval, Edmund Mahon, and Li Yong Rui. Now, Zemina has the most worthless thing ever. She gives you a mining laser that does combat damage. Woo! Like, if it's on par with a beam laser, okay, that's kind of cool, but why wouldn't I just use a beam laser? I mean, mining sucks. I did mining. I tried that out immediately, and I found the mother lode. I found a pristine metallic ring. I went out there in my Anaconda, and I made about $1 million an hour. $1 million an hour. That's 6 times less than I make trading on a decent route. You know, not even a good route, but that's the best I could do at mining, and I get 6 times less? It's stupid. So, mining is dead. So this is completely useless to me. It's completely useless to me. If I go back, Mahon... Okay, so I played MechWarrior Online before this... Well, a while before I played this game. And he gives you the Retribution, a small beam laser which causes enhanced heat damage after 4 weeks aligned to this power. Okay, no, it's a small beam laser. Small weapons suck, first and foremost, but at least it's not taking up a medium slot, so I guess there's that to consider. And I could see this potentially being okay, right? Like, if it was a medium, I could see it being okay on a Fer-de-Lance that was pirating, you know, because if somebody wants to jump away from you, it's going to suck to jump away when you're boiling over, you know? If you're already at 100% in Rising, and you're taking damage, and your modules are malfunctioning and all that other stuff, and then you try to hit your frameshift drive, you're going to cook. You might even blow up. So, I mean, it pretty much forces you to stay there and let the pirate do their thing. So, I mean, for a non-lethal form of piracy, that's kind of cool. I could see that being an issue, but being a small weapon, and, you know, the thing is that pirates are often under attack by other pirates and bounty hunters. So, I mean, the only use I see for this thing is null and void. So, okay, Denton Petraeus. So, this guy is probably the favorite of everybody that I see, anyway. Most people seem to like this guy. I don't like him as a character. I respect him as a character. I like the way he moves, you know? I like the way he prepares systems and goes after them, and he's very calculated. And I do like that about him as a character, but... and, I mean, let's see... Unlocks access to the Advanced Accelerator, a specialist plasma weapon after 4 weeks aligned with the power. Now, is this for any size plasma weapon? Is this for class... Because they don't have a class 1 for whatever reason. Class 2, class 3, and class 4? Could I put a big one of these on my Conda? How much power does it use? I have no idea. I mean, I wish they would make it to where I could see the weapon, but not buy it, right? Like, if I could actually look at it and do everything like that, that would be one thing. Because I don't know if I want this. I mean, that's cool. And again, you know, he's all about combat. So, you know, but he also gives you, 10% weapons, modules, and controlled exploited systems have a 10% cost reduction. So that's the same price as I'm getting here in the Founders World, right? And that's kind of cool. And you can get up to 30% off. That's amazing, you know? Especially on a Conda where, like, you know, we're talking millions of credits just for your outfitting. But, meh. He also gives you, 90% reduction in munitions. That doesn't really do anything except for, like, shield cell banks. Shield cell banks can get expensive. But, again, meh. You know? So, Aisling Duval, I hate her as a character. She's stupid. At least right now she's being portrayed as stupid. She might be incredibly intelligent, and I would hope that she is, being in a position of power. But anybody who comes up with "stop slavery, stupid" is just, I mean, come on. You know, and just the way that she moves and the way she does things, and I mean, she has the most. Now, I'm not saying the proper claim to the throne, but the most legitimate claim to the throne. If I remember right, there's always something with one of the powers that say, you know, they're not really in line with the power, which is why there's a power play to begin with. So, I kind of get that. Right? I kind of get this. And she does give you something cool, in my opinion. And let's see here. Rating 3. Unlocks access to prismatic shield generators that create a particularly strong shields after 4 weeks aligned pledge to this power. So, that's cool. I mean, every ship has a shield. So she's a safe bet. And, you know, she does do things with finance, which means you can run them like a trading vessel, but you don't get anything from trading either. So that's kind of the other thing. If I'm doing these social missions that are like, you know, go do these and deliver these things, I have to do it in higher quantities than 10, and it has to go towards my trade rank. Otherwise, this doesn't matter to me. Like, this is just another grind, and it's only at 10 at a time. I can do it in any ship. I mean, yeah, I guess it's the point, but it doesn't scale. So, meh? You know? And I don't like her anyway, so... back. Now, Lee Young-ri. Okay, here we go. So he's all about expansion, you know, financial ways of doing things. Again, just as I said with what's her name, or Aisling Duval. So I go over here and unlocks the Packhound rack, a medium seeker missile rack that fires a salvo of drunk missiles after 4 weeks aligned to this power. Could they be any more vague about this? Okay, so it's medium. Does it do more damage? Does it do less damage? Does it do the same damage? Is it thermic and kinetic, or is it just kinetic? Because if it's thermic and kinetic, that's one thing. It'll actually do damage to shields. And I would want this for my traders. Because missiles are just stupid right now. They only work well if they have no shields. But getting no shields requires putting a lot of effort and everything else. And I don't know. I just don't think missiles aren't worth it. Not at all. I mean, they're worth it in a one-on-one fight where you don't get in a fight ever again, because you run out of ammo. They have no ammo in them, and they actually have a lot of heat to them unnecessarily. They're bad. Multi-cannons or cannons would be way better. So, meh. He also gives you 200% increase on exploration data, and I have to do exploration at some point because I want to get triple elite. Now, this is great for that. I don't know if it actually, you know, gives a 200% increase for that amount towards your rank or not. I don't know. I mean, that's still kind of up in the air. I would hope so, because it seems to be based on profit, but I don't want to do exploration right now anyway. So, yeah. His only good thing really is that he gives you the 5% bonus. So that's cool. I mean, that's really the thing for trading. And then if you go over to stats, we have the other things here, right? So purchase price on high-tech goods is down by 10%. All shipyards stock the Cobra, Diamondback, Aspen, Python. I don't know why the Python, but whatever. Outfitting prices are reduced by 15%. That's cool too. Right? So with this guy, I could, if I didn't have enough money, I could get into a Type 9 sooner. I could get into a Type 7 sooner. I could get into anything sooner. Because the outfitting prices are reduced. So I could basically get to that ship, the cost of the outfitting of that ship, which is oftentimes like a Type 9 costs like 25 million to outfit, pretty well. It's like a little over 100 million for the total cost of the ship. And I mean, that helps, especially when you get a Conda. That's huge, right? That's better than I'm getting in the Founders World. That's awesome. But all of these stats here don't matter. They don't matter because these are for everybody, right? You do not have to be aligned with this power in order to take advantage of what happens in his space, right? So when a power occupies a space, right? They don't, when a power like this controls space or exploits space, they don't own that space, right? They conquered it, but they left the leaders intact, right? Which is the smart way to do it. You don't want to have to put all that extra resources and manpower into it, or it would cost, exponentially more. That would be nice if that was an option though, like fortification, if there would be like another one where it's a complete, takeover. And then it would cost you more, but it would be yours, that would be a fun little thing to it. And then, maybe the profit would go up over time or something. I don't know. But all of these things, if I go to Li Yongri's space without pledging to him, I can still take advantage of the outfitting price reduction. If they fixed it, that is, because some of them weren't working right. And if I go back to like Zamina Torval, she does something similar in her space. 10% reduction in price of mined materials, right? That's kind of sucks, actually. Imperial slave prices reduced by 10%. That's good. So that basically means that you get 10% off of all Imperial slaves if you want to trade in slaves. Some people don't want to do that. I don't care. Let's see. Imperial ships available in all shipyards. That's cool. Doubled production and consumption of mined materials. Okay, so that's cool. And let's see here. In Empire space, right? So any place that she takes over that has an Empire faction in it, the production and consumption of Imperial slaves is doubled at those stations that are owned by the Empire. In that same system, if there is also a Federation system, 5% reduced price for mine materials due to the market flooding, right? Same thing with the Independent and the Alliance. So anywhere in her controlled area, her space, right? So view the power on the map, right? Anywhere inside of this white bubble that looks like a digestive tract, anywhere inside there, these rules will apply, whether I'm aligned to somebody else or aligned to her or not aligned at all. And that's, I like that. I really do like that. So, I get it, but, her, as a, supporting her doesn't really do anything for me. There was another thing about her. What was it? I think that was it. I think she had something to do with rare items being worth more, but I guess they got rid of that? I don't know, they did a patch this morning. So let's see, we'll go back. Where were we? We were at Archon Delane. Now this is the guy I was really considering on going with, because like a lot of other people, I went ahead and did smuggling while the getting was good, by the way. And at one point I was making like 7,500 per ton, somewhere around there, 73, 75, something. It was over 7,000 per ton. And that was awesome. It was so great because I could finally, do a harder version of trading and get paid better for it. Like there was a level 2 to trading. There wasn't just trading and then, that's it. Cause we rare trading is kind of different in my opinion, but I guess if you want to do it, we have rare trading, which is kind of straightforward, where, you just take something a while away and you get extra money for it. Then you have trading where you have to find all this, crap and then actually make money at it and find a good route and all that other stuff. But I wanted there, I guess, to be a third level, a really hard version of trading, right? Where you would buy things from a black market and sell them at another black market, kind of like rare item trading, but with really high prices. So if you lost your load, it was a big deal. And you could kind of like risk manage that one. Is it worth gambling that much money to do that? And I was, what I was doing is I was smuggling Imperial slaves because I was getting 7,300 profit per ton. I made a lot of money. And it was great. It was really great. That's where smuggling needs to be. The problem is that it was too easy. It was. It should be challenging even for a player like myself who's been playing forever and all the time. So, it was too easy. I'll say that. But I think the profits were right where they needed to be. I think they were. But, it was too easy. There weren't enough interdictions. There weren't enough people trying to scan me. I didn't have to have chaff or heat sink launchers. I didn't need to use silent running. I just ran at the door. And I think smuggling really does need to be a big thing, because that was the most fun I've had in a long time playing this game. And it almost got me to pledge to Archon Delane, because in his system, control systems, black markets opened, if not already present. Black markets pay an additional 15% for illegal goods. And since I was going to be operating in his space, I was going to pledge to him. Right? But it didn't happen. So, and these were at 20%. Right? So they nerfed this morning. It was 20%. Empire security level is halved. Black markets pay 10% more for illegal goods. Now that's great. Now, and this used to be 25%. So they've taken 10% out of everything. They balanced past it, as they said. And they basically killed it. Because it's as profitable with one commodity, the highest paying commodity, right? So if you're trying to smuggle anything else, like narcotics or anything else, you're not going to make any money. And you'd be better off, regular trading. Whereas before, with this at 25 and this at 20, I could smuggle narcotics, right? And I would actually make more than I would trading with narcotics. The problem was that Imperial slaves were really, really profitable. They were too profitable at that difficulty level. And that's, again, what I'm getting at. It needed to be a lot more difficult. But anyway, I got my millions. I was going to make a video on it, but I wanted to make sure that it was working as intended. And apparently it was not. So, meh. I mean, I'm still leaning towards him because I did like smuggling. I love smuggling, but... Okay, so Pranav Antal, alright? This guy, I think, has the coolest portrait, in my opinion. He looks pretty cool. But he's got a conflict of interest here. So, whenever you control a system, right? So if you actively make it to where you control systems, doubling of received fines and bounties, black markets are closed. But in places where he doesn't control and is exploiting, like in the Empire, 50% increased on received fines and bounties, black markets pay an additional 10% more. Right? So it's like Archon Delane, except for the fact that you don't get that extra 5% in his controlled systems. They're closed entirely. So as a smuggler, I really don't want to control anything with him. Why would I do that? I mean, they're getting their last hurrah before he gets control over them, and he's trying to do the whole Utopian thing. I get that. But I don't know. I mean, I guess if they made it to where all items were then legalized and all profits were then increased by 10%, so it wouldn't change, where he just made it to where they are worth more and it's a completely open market like he goes with, right? In the news thing, he was all about all new technology and just letting everybody use it, everybody see it, doesn't matter who, enemy and friend alike. I would like to see the same mechanic mirrored here, where all black markets, right, where he basically does the whole, taxation and legalization kind of thing. So he just opens it up and says, okay, fine, you want to do it? That's cool, but we're going to make it to where it's all the good stuff, you're not going to get sick off of it, and we'll just make it worth more. But we're going to tax it, kind of thing, in the background. Like, wouldn't actually show up to you as a player, but to them as an economy and a government, they would make more money because of it. And I think that would really be the better way to go. And now, he does do something that I really like, and that is, at rating 3, you get the Enforcer Cannon. Reduced fire rate, but improved damage. Right? So, shield cell banks have that delay. Right? And I love using cannons. And cannons are actually really effective against, in certain ships, if you have enough cannons. Yeah, especially like the Anaconda. Ooh, good stuff. And, I kind of want this. Right? Because he also does the 5%. Right? So, like Torval, Mahon, and Yongri, they all do the 5% bonus to trade. Right? And her mining laser sucks. His heat gun sucks. And his drunk missiles are probably, the same way. They probably suck too. I have no idea if they're any good. And I don't know if they're like class 3 or class 4 even. Like, that'd be cool. If these were the only missiles you can get in class 3 or class 4, I'd totally do this just to see it. Archon is better for me as a smuggler, right? And he gives this weapon, the Cyto Scrambler, a burst laser. Again, no class distinction. Does it go up to level 4? That is highly effective against shields, but does no hull damage. This is awesome. This is awesome. I really like this. Because I want to get into piracy at some point, but I want to actually be a pirate. I don't want to be a mass murderer who just steals crap. Like, I want to actually be a catch and release pirate. And, this would be a really great way for me to do that. And it would also make missiles okay, but only if I have this. So, eventually I'm going to go ahead and be aligned to everybody. Eventually I'm going to be aligned to everybody. I want to see everything. But I think for my playstyle, because I do like switching things up. He does have a combat. He does have like a trading thing, right? He gives you the 5% bonus, right? So I could trade in his space. I'd have to find some trade routes, but I could trade in his space and get up to 20% more, right? That's awesome. 20% increase. That's really good. This is better than the smuggling thing on everything that was before. And I could do it with really expensive goods there. And it's just on whatever. It's not just on certain things that are illegal. That's everything. So that's good. I like cannons. So cannons, that's great. So I can punch more damage at one time rather than over time, which would play to shield cell bank's strengths. But the enforcer cannon would try to get around that. So, more damage per hit, but less per second kind of thing. And, I like the 100% increase on bounty payouts too. So that's cool too. All things are good here. I do like everything that I see. The only thing I do not like is controlled systems closing the black markets, because now I can't smuggle there. So, I don't know. I think of everybody though, I am going to go with Pradnav. Just so I can see the cannons. And because I can do everything else that I want to do. I can... now, the only thing I don't like is the increase on received fines and bounties in that system, right? But that's okay. I don't want to be pirating in my own space anyway, so I think I'd be doing that in somebody else's space. So, I don't know. It's a hard way to go between this guy and Archon, because in my opinion, I'm an Empire guy, and none of these guys, or none of these ladies, I guess, and one guy, have any legitimate claim to the throne, in my opinion. There's one that has the most legitimate claim to the throne, but the Emperor is alive. Right? And for all I know, I could be supporting their killer. His attempted assassin. So I don't want to just go after anybody. I want to make sure that I actually help the Empire. And I think the best way I can do that is to make strong neighbors that I can have good ties with later on. They might be enemies, but I mean, a good ally at some point could be your enemy. So, and the other way is true as well. But I think Pranav Antal and Archon Delane, they both have strengths that the Empire would find, and they're near Empire space. So these guys could be very good assets to the Empire. Like, this is the role-playing perspective. None of these people, in my opinion, have valid claims to the throne. And I don't care about the Federation or the Alliance, really. I mean, I'm cool with the Alliance, but I don't really care for them. And Li Yongrui is Li Yongrui. I'm probably saying that completely wrong. He's okay too. So in my opinion, like, I'm going to align with him when I do exploration. I'm going to align with her eventually just to get the shields. I'm going to align with him to see the plasma accelerator, and her to see the Imperial hammer, and her to see that module thing. I think that's kind of cool, but I think it's really between these two for me. So let's go back. So he's all combat. Okay, whatever. But he does have this too. Let's see. Bounties incurred in controlled systems are reduced by 20, 30, 40, or 50%. The Cyto Scrambler, I mean, that's cool, but I can do what I want to do without that. And 100% reduction in fines and bounties. I don't really care. I mean, I kind of just forget them anyway, so whatever. Pranav Antal, social combat, so kind of the reverse here. He's got 2 and 1 instead of 2 and 1. And let's see here. He's got the Enforcer Cannon. I want to see that. He's got the trading bonus. Again, that's good. And he's got the 100% bounty payout. So I have a couple of friends that do bounties. I think this would be really good. So, controlled systems, doubling of received fines and bounties, and black markets are closed. Okay, well, I'm not going to be pirating in his area anyway. I don't like to, you know, defecate my lunchbox, as it were. So, this is fine for me. I don't really care about that. But it also allows me to still smuggle, and I could always smuggle into Archon space. I don't have to do it here. So this is good. I think I'm still going to go with this. So let's go ahead and pledge to Pranav Antal. Alright. So, now the problem with pledging with either of these guys is they're a long way away from where I'm at. They are. If I look on the Power On map, that's where I am. That's where they are. That's a long ways away. A long ways away. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this episode out here. I wanted to do a little thing, my overview, if you will, of Power Play before everything gets started up. I'm going to make another episode here pretty shortly about actually going ahead and working for Pranav. I want to go ahead and get my head around it, though, because, again, I don't want to really say anything that I don't understand. Now, a lot of these things are new, and a lot of them just changed, and the map, the whole game seems a little buggy right now. I don't know what's going on, but I want to make sure that everything is set in stone before I make a video about it. I hate making videos that are immediately outdated, which is kind of why I waited to make this video. But anyway, guys, tell me what you think in the comments down below. Tell me what weapons you're going to want to see, or modules that you want to see, or what is your take on the powers? Like, which ones are you guys choosing, and why? I want to know why. I gave you my outlook on each one of the powers and where I can see things being useful, but I want to know other people's take too. So leave a comment down below. Let me know, what do you guys like about your power? I mean, even the Feddies, tell me what you think. Even though I'm not a Federation guy, I'll get to you guys eventually. Tell me why. All this other stuff. Tell me what you think. But anyway, guys, I'll catch you later. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being subscribed. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.